The World Pool Masters is a very special event.
There's never going to be an easy match or an easy draw.
It's like a dream. It's a very big tournament, play the best players in the world.
There are 16 top world-class players.
It's a really strong field, really good mix. It's called the World Pool Masters for a reason.
This is the 21st season of the PartyPoker World Pool Masters, and again it's an all-star lineup in this prestigious 9-ball pool competition. 16 of the game's finest players have journeyed to Barnsley with their eyes on the title. Already through to the quarter-finals are Chris Melling, Alex Pagulayan, Niels Feijen and Ekonomopoulos. Defending champion Karol Skowerski is gone, together with the great Efren Reyes, while England's finest Darren Appleton and US Open champion Shane Van Boening are still to play. Now it's time for 6-times Masters champion Ralf SOUQUET to face Mosconi Cup teammate Nick Ekonomopoulos.
I have, a very great success here at the World Pool Masters, and yeah, for some reason I seem to like the event, so it means a lot to me.
It's very exciting. I like the stress during the match. I feel very good when I play. I like to play this competition, many competitions like this. It's very good for me.
I started in my parents' pub. They had a small pool table in it. My dad was playing, and I was so fascinated by the balls that I got hooked up to it.
I started by luck with my friends, and about 16 years ago in Athens.
Playing Nikos Ekonomopoulos is, I don't think we've played much in the past. But what I do remember is that I gave him lessons, like, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago in Athens. It was a long time, and obviously things have changed since. He became a really good player. It's going to be a difficult start into the tournament.
I play many times. I beat him 2 times, he beat me many times. He's very strong, of course, everybody knows him, he's a legend.
To feel that the World Pool Masters is always strong. I mean, you always have 16 of the world's greatest players, so there's never going to be an easy match.
It's very important, it's like a dream. It's a very big tournament, play the best players in the world.
Great to be here, to have another shot at a possible 7th Masters title.
Hello and a very warm welcome to the Metrodome here in Barnsley. Matchroom Sport proudly present the PartyPoker World Pool Masters. A race to 8, the winner breaks. Our referee in charge of the action is Michaela Tab, and now it's time to meet the players. Ladies and gentlemen from Germany, and the greatest European pool player in history, the Kaiser, Ralf SOUQUET! And now, ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome from Greece and a member of the winning European Mosconi Cup team, it's Nick Ekonomopoulos!
Nick Ekonomopoulos. They call him Nick the Greek, inevitably. Of course, Nick the Greek was one of the most famous gamblers the city of Las Vegas has ever known. Are the odds going to be against this Nick? Well, certainly in terms of career record, you would say yes. But in terms of form, over the last year or so, Ralf SOUQUET has been struggling. Now with me in the commentary box, a man who knows SOUQUET very well indeed, Alex Lely. And I think he comes here, even though he's won this title on multiple occasions, with a point to prove.
absolutely fail. Of course, Ralf SOUQUET is becoming a little older, and then all the naysayers, when a little form crisis hits, will start to say that his good times are behind us. But I'm sure that he will find a winning streak again. This game, pool more than snooker, is not so much about cueing, it's more about composure and shot selection. And I think the best age to play pool is 35, 40. I think that's where you can be the most consistent, and Ralf SOUQUET is past that age, but is still good for a couple of major wins as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, SOUQUET was born in Eschweiler, Germany. 44 years of age, 45 next month. As for Nick Ekonomopoulos, he's from Athens, Greece. 31 years old. So in the prime of his career.
He did very well last year in the Mosconi Cup. Was a rookie, but played with a lot of heart. He has only won one Euro Tour, but he's a very respected player. He's one of those players that always plays. Sometimes not good enough, but he always shows up. Doesn't get most style points, as far as I'm concerned, but he gets the job done.
Well, one of his hobbies is spearfishing, and he's hoping for a very big catch today. And while you would make SOUQUET favourite, he's by no means a certainty. The Euro Tour event you were mentioning, Alex, the Austrian Open last year, he also came very close in 2009 to being crowned the European 8-ball champion, lost in the final. Describes that as the biggest disappointment of his career. Beating SOUQUET here would be one of the highlights. And he's taken the initial step with a good degree of aplomb. Nick Ekonomopoulos 1, Ralf SOUQUET 0. Here's the pattern set. He's a fine player who's improving all of the time, and one has to say, I think Ralf SOUQUET himself would be the first to agree. The 2013 has not been his finest year, and he's in need of a confidence boost. You can't get that sitting down.
Lost control of the cue ball, a ball in hand for Ralf. An ideal start, although we see the 5-6-9 cluster. Troublesome for the Kaiser. The 6 does not pass the 8 ball. So development of the 6 will be done with the 5 ball. Looks like Ralf is considering to open that little cluster now. If he gets the line of the cue ball, the direction right, he will have guaranteed position on the 2. Smart shot. Looks like the shot on the 2 is not on.
There is a shot clock in operation here in this tournament. 35 seconds per shot allowed, plus 1 35-second extension per rack, per player. And SOUQUET over the years has been known as one of the most methodical players in the game. So if it does affect anyone, it might affect him, but only to a small degree. I think he's used to it by now.
I think actually Ralf under the shot clock, when he's playing with the shot clock, is best. Of course, if he's in form. But I like his game better. I think he is a better player in form with the shot clock than without.
Well, the quicker you play, the less uncertainty comes into the mind, doesn't it? So maybe the shot clock does him a favour. Frees up the thought process.
Well, I remember when he played the final of the World Pool Masters against Peggy Lyon. I think this was in 2006. He looked like a robot. He did all the things, all the rituals he normally does, but quicker.
Yes, winning 6 World Masters, impressive enough, but the fact he's won them over a span of 17 years, even more impressive. Look at that. Cue jacked in the air, screwing back, precision and power together. Yes, SOUQUET won the inaugural World Masters in 1994, successful again in 96, 2000, 2002, 2006 and 2011. But he lost in the first round last year and doesn't want to repeat.
Yes, misplayed his angle on the 4. Actually, there's no angle on the 4. He has to go forward. Doesn't make things easier from the 5 and onwards. Okay, he's back in position. A little low on the 5, but natural position on the 6 when he drops that 5 ball in. Both players have a very long forehand, a very long bridge. SOUQUET's delivery somewhat more fluent.
Every reason to be pleased with that. Early days in this Party Poker World Pool Masters first round match. Honours even.
Back 3, Ralf SOUQUET to break, 1 rack each.
It's match 5 in the Party Poker World Pool Masters. Ralf SOUQUET lost the opening rack, but won the second, and that's why he's getting to break off in the third. The German looking for a really good performance to get him right back on track after what's so far been a below the radar year.
Dangerous cue ball there. In that same manner did Ekonomopoulos scratch the cue ball in the previous rack. With the cut break, if you're breaking medium hard, the speed that SOUQUET used, you're looking for a slightly thicker hit, maybe 3/4 ball, even more. 80-85% hit. When breaking softer with more spin, you're looking to cut the ball a little more. More like a 60% hit. Because of the speed, cue ball can go wild. Nicely played. A safety played in 2 steps. First step snookering behind the 9 and then the 8 ball as a bonus.
He's a very meticulous fellow, is Ralf SOUQUET. Not just on the table, but off it as well. Books his flights and makes his travel arrangements and hotel bookings. Absolutely in regimented order. Everything is a set plan, but it doesn't matter what you can do, you can't legislate for shots like that. What a bonus. Unbelievable. Look at this. Off the side cushion, the perfect contact on the 2, even avoiding the in-off with the cue ball to the opposite middle. Wow.
Nice to see he did apologize to Ralf SOUQUET. And now a real tester. What a great shot.
And you know, Alex, in an earlier match you made a very salient point, saying that there's no point having good luck if you don't take advantage of it, and that's what Ekonomopoulos is doing here. Mind you, that will not soothe SOUQUET's thoughts at the moment. He will be raging.
Well, no, I don't think Ralf is the type to go on tilt. I mean, the variance you have in 9 ball, the bad rolls, you have to accept them. Once you start fighting it or being skeptical to losing your head, you're gone.
I think he's experienced enough to use the emotion to a positive effect. What a turnaround in this rack. Extraordinary. Great safety from SOUQUET. All he's got for it is an extended sit down.
Pure shot making here from Ekonomopoulos. On the rail, playing double speed. He doesn't care too much about position.
Luck, plain and simple, then excellence. It's a rare old cocktail. Ekonomopoulos is 2 racks to 1 ahead. What a fluke that was. But then he's pot on the 3 in position for the subsequent balls. Couldn't have been better.
Ekonomopoulos to break, leading by 2 racks to 1.
Now let's see if he alters something in his break. He scratched last time he broke the balls. Well, that works out fine. And the cue ball got a kiss that stopped it in its tracks. And he has a nice angle to travel the cue ball around table. Here's Shane van Boning ready to get in action. Still to make his mark on the international scene, outside of the US that is.
Yes, he's 2 different players, Van Boning. In America, absolutely phenomenal, his level of success. On other shores, not so. But there's time, of course, for that to change. Nothing's changing here. Ekonomopoulos playing with great confidence. And I suppose, Alex, when you've played under the pressure of the Mosconi Cup, as he did last year, everything else, well, it seems relatively calm.
Well, he will be feeling pressure, But knowing that you can play with your heart on the biggest stage of all in the Mosconi Cup, of course it helps. At least you don't have to prove it for the first time.
Swift and sure, a run out from the break, and Nick Ekonomopoulos has a 2-rack advantage. He leads Ralf SOUQUET, the 6 times Masters champion, remember, by 3 racks to 1. And SOUQUET's expression tells us he's feeling a little concerned, and with
Rack
every
5,
justification.
Nick Ekonomopoulos to break, leading by 3 racks to 1.
And again, cue ball heading towards the side pocket. And if that 1 ball pockets, he's having the run of the ball and making the best out of it. This little run started with the fluke on the 2 ball that he kicked in, a break and run thereafter. Can he now sink the 1 directly?
Well, the 2 certainly would appear to go past the 5. A fraction of an inch here could make so much difference. Delicate and deadly. And look at the table, 3 ball in the open. (3-1) could quickly become 4-1.
Can play to go center table or all the way up. Just center table. Now the choice between trying to get in straight in on the 6 or leaving himself an angle on purpose. Yeah, he's in the zone. Landing the cue ball perfect every time. And remember, this run started with the kick shot on the 2 ball. That's the cruelty of 9 ball and SOUQUET's challenge to now only think about his future chance.
The matches in this tournament are a race to 8. In pool, that's a sprint. And when this 9 goes in, as it surely will, indeed it has, Nick Ekonomopoulos is halfway to victory. He leads Ralf SOUQUET 4-1.
Nick Ekonomopoulos to break, leading by 4 racks to 1.
Welcome back to the Metrodome in Barnsley, where Nick Ekonomopoulos is going great guns against Ralf SOUQUET in this first round match in the PartyPoker World Pool Masters. 4-1 ahead, and he will not be complaining after that break-off shot in the 6th rack.
Darren Appleton on the right and on the left Shane Van Boning. All the way on the right, Appleton's wife. And Nick will not be complaining, no. His cue ball is wild on the break. His position, his control of the cue ball is not perfect, but he's the sort of player that doesn't worry too much, although it seems, about those things. Other players would maybe change the break or try something different, becoming a little paranoid about a possible scratch. Ekonomopoulos takes it as it comes.
He says the one thing he dislikes most about pool is the fact that to attend international competitions, he has to fly a lot and therefore experience jet lag. But of course the time difference between Greece and England isn't too great, neither is the journey here. And he's making an absolutely superb attempt to unseat SOUQUET
Extension.
and send the German to a first round defeat in this tournament for the second consecutive year.
If he plays the 5 onto the 6, he will not run into the 7. And he'll come around the 8 ball. So position seems to be guaranteed. No, he did collide with the 7. And his control of the cue ball is not the best possible. But if I see a player like Nick playing like this, it teaches me something. Bottom line in this game is to pocket balls and to let your confidence grow. Don't worry too much.
Well, as you said before in a previous match, Alex, it's not a jury sport, i.e. no one awards you marks for style. It's all about getting the job done, and Ekonomopoulos is doing it with an economy of effort. Excellent. SOUQUET in deep, deep trouble. He now trails 5-1.
Yeah, great out by Nick. It was 1-1 when he kicked in the 2 ball. And he's still running, making the maximum out of his luck. And now finally for Ralf, Nick's luck or run of the ball is halted. No shot on the 2 ball, forced to play a safety.
And the safety he plays works well. Cue ball in behind 9. At least that's the blocking ball.
I think 9 ball in a way is very comparable with poker. I'm not a poker player, but I understand the concept, or I do believe to understand it. Sometimes you just have a bad run of luck. You get bad hands. And most important is to not get frustrated, to keep your head clear and make the good choice of shots. Nice shot by Ralf.
Well, getting the snooker in return is no more than he deserved, really.
What a shot. In the deep with an angle. That was a very difficult jump shot.
Well, during her defeat by Alex Pagulayan, Ga-Young Kim from Korea produced a couple of absolutely cracking jump shots. But for me, the one from Ekonomopoulos there trumped those of Kim. And SOUQUET must be thinking, what have I got to do?
Luck will always come back to you if you persist and keep a clear head. But the only thing is, maybe not in this tournament.
Ekonomopoulos riding the wave. And on the crest of one. Super stuff. Things, yes, going his way, undoubtedly.
Yeah, but the jump shot. Look, the first shot, the kick shot on the 2 in rack 3, when it was 1-1. That was a fluke, but this jump shot was just a marvelous shot. He really deserved it. And now he's pounding upon SOUQUET, taking a 6-1 lead.
Yes, Alex, couldn't agree more. He's been very impressive indeed, and I think SOUQUET would be the first to concur. Darren Appleton and Shane Van Boning will be saying to themselves, maybe this Ekonomopoulos fellow is one to keep an eye on.
Leading by 6 racks to 1. Foul shot, ball in hand.
Well, there we were saying everything was going in Ekonomopoulos' favour, and that happens. Scratch on the break as the pendulum swung.
Well, I coach the guys in Holland and a couple of 20-year-old players, and this is what I continuously tell them: to understand the chemistry of a match. And 5-1 down, 6-1 down, you're an underdog, but every match can turn. You need 1-2 good rolls and good play, of course. But don't give up.
SOUQUET's career CV is so impressive. World 9-ball champion, 1996. World 8-ball champion, 2008. US Open champion in the past. He's been on 5 winning Mosconi Cup teams. Gold medalist at the World Games in 2009. Part of the duo that helped Germany win the World Cup of Pool in 2011. And that same year, in 2011, he was also inducted into the Billiards Congress of America Hall of Fame. Much merited, as indeed the inductees in 2013, Jeanette Lee, and the promoter of this tournament and the chairman of Matchroom Sport, Barry Hearn. They will go into the Hall of Fame in December. Mr. Hearn has done extraordinary things for pool, and he's absolutely transformed snooker. Every snooker player, I think, should get a big poster of Barry and put it on the wall, and every time they wake up in the morning, first thing they do, say thank you.
It was an open layout, this, for Ralf SOUQUET. But if I have to judge his rhythm, he still looks composed and solid. It's all going to be dependent, of course, on the outcome of the next break.
Yes, at least SOUQUET though has pulled one back. Ekonomopoulos 6-2 ahead, but don't write off the German. Welcome back to the Metrodome in Barnsley in South Yorkshire, England,
Rack 9,
where Ralf SOUQUET, who enjoys a challenge, certainly has one here. In this race to 8 racks, he trails Nick Ekonomopoulos from Greece. 6-2. Minimum leeway.
The breaking format with the 9-ball on the spot makes it harder to pocket balls. Therefore the players opt for a cut break, which makes it more difficult to control the cue ball. In this winner break format, it's possible to control the table. It's possible to win 3-4 racks on the trot without letting your opponent back to the table, but it's just more difficult. You're a little more dependent on the run of the ball, whether you're getting shots or not. Which actually I think is a good thing, because in the days when the break was soft, with the 1 on the spot, some matches, best of 17s, best of 19s, were decided in 2-3 innings. Players running 3-4 racks with every visit to the table. A bank shot attempt by SOUQUET. Could have played a cut shot to the side pocket, but then the positional route would have been very unnatural. Still not the worst of outcomes. Can bring the cue ball towards the 8-ball as a safety shot, but then the 2 will travel towards the side pocket. He can cut the 2, but it's difficult. So he played the safe and tried to hit the 8-ball a little firmer to bump it off of the rail. And I think SOUQUET sees the 2-ball, but at least Ekonomopoulos controlled the 2-ball and did not leave it hanging over the side pocket.
Germany has a fantastic tradition of success in this tournament, apart from SOUQUET's record 6 wins. Thomas Engert won the tournament on 2 occasions, but oh dear, after that you just wonder whether Germany's participation in this event might be coming to a close.
Well, the way Ekonomopoulos has been playing, he looks to run this rack. Maybe his momentum has been halted, but not much work to do. Just needs to decide to play for the 5 with a steep angle, just coming out of the long rail here, or playing a soft draw shot to come in between the 6 and 9. He's coming back, center table. He'll play the 6 to the same pocket, and either side of the 6 is good. More to the left or more to the right. Looks like drawing straight back. That works.
Given the occasion, given the opposition, I think, Alex, it's fair to say this will be one of the best wins of Ekonomopoulos' career. And he's getting ever closer.
And yet, no surprise for me. Of course, I see him do well on the Euro Tour, but especially his performance in the Mosconi Cup. How he upheld his game there. That proved all to me.
Ekonomopoulos forges on. Ralf SOUQUET is 5 racks down, only a possible 6 to play. He's on the verge of defeat, and this is the reason why. The missed 2 ball to the middle pocket, it was asking a lot. It caught the far jaw, and from there Ekonomopoulos did the rest.
Two scratches he had on the break in this match. And look how the balls are sitting.
That, Alex, presumably is the break direct from heaven.
Yeah, he made a good impact. This time actually the best control over the cue ball of all his breaks in this match. Now just needs to hold it together. Play one shot at a time, or actually just this shot. If he plays a good shot on the 4, he's out.
And so, in another sense, is SOUQUET. The heart will be pounding, the stomach might be churning a little. But Ekonomopoulos has every reason to think this should be the last visit for him, the last visit of the match.
He can play it with a lot of spin, going to the long rail, or let the cue ball run 4 rails. Stroke the ball nicely. Okay, the last choice he needs to make is the 8 ball to the side pocket or to the same pocket as the 7. Preferably the last, but it depends on his angle. Okay, side pocket it will be. No, decided to come around. This is how he likes to hit the ball. Firm and with authority.
And Ralf SOUQUET, the master planner, is now planning his journey home. Nick hasn't nicked it. He's won it comprehensively. 8-2. What a performance. SOUQUET is out.
I'm very happy, but every match is different, and I must concentrate to play the same in next match.
Well, unfortunately I didn't get too many chances. I don't really feel like I've done something wrong. I played a good safety when it was 1-1, and I thought at least it was good, but he kicked it in and didn't let me to the table until it was 5-1. I don't really feel like I was part of the whole tournament, but he just played perfect. I mean, besides the 2 scratches on the break, he played flawless, and there's nothing I could do.
It was a short game, and I play my best, I think.
There you have it. Multiple Masters champion SOUQUET is beaten. Ekonomopoulos joins Chris Melling, Alex Pagulayan, Niels Feijen and Mika Immonen in the quarterfinals. Next time at the PartyPoker World Pool Masters, one of Asia's finest, Chang Junlin, takes on England's former world champion, Darryl Peach.